goes down, everybody? Walker Dad here, back again with another video for you guys. This is my video talking about DLC ideas / predictions plus theories I have for Resident Evil 8 Village. So to those who don't know, Capcom did this announcement, and it revealed that the announcement was in regards to Street Fighter 6. And a lot of people, including myself, are a little disappointed. But from what we have heard, there's going to be this announcement going down on March something. But anyway, this video is not talking about that. Anyway, let's get into this video now, shall we? The first idea I have for a Resident Village DLC, and that is the return of Zoe Baker. To those who don't know, Zoe Baker was in RE7. She was guiding Ethan, and she was also in End of Zoe DLC, where you had to play as the brother of Jack Baker to get her back. But I believe this could be an interesting concept if Capcom goes in this direction, and here's why. Here's the idea. My idea for a return of Zoe DLC for RE Village is this: she gets kidnapped by say someone from the Connections. They bring her to the village, and just when her life is getting back to normal, she lays somewhere in the village, in the woods, and Zoe's like, no, not again. But then that's where we get her struggle from her point of view, where she's in the woods, and she's running around trying to find a way out, and then she sees these blood on these trees. I know it's super far-fetched and super unlikely, but it will be pretty cool to see Zoe Baker again and for us to play as her again, considering we did play as her once in one of the DLCs for RE7. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, that's the idea for a return of Zoe DLC. But I believe it's possible they could do it if done right, and if Capcom chooses to do the idea itself. I know some people are like, oh, they miss Zoe Baker and they miss Jack, and I do too. And I do believe if Capcom goes in this direction, they could, use this idea in some way to bring her back. That's the first idea on this list for RE8 Village DLC. The next idea is a prequel focusing on Lady Dimitrescu. So, to those who don't know, during before the whole boss fight thing with Lady D, Ethan opens up this casket, this thing or whatever, and he sees a dead body, and that body looks to be an assassin with that dagger. That dagger you find in one of the notes in Castle Dimitrescu about this dagger called something about the death of flowers, something of that nature. Yeah, that dagger that Ethan uses to stab Lady D. But then he stabs her, and then she becomes a big dragon creature. But the idea for the prequel DLC is, what if, and I know this is a big what if, we play as the assassin set to kill Lady D, and from there we get some areas, some certain areas of the castle we never saw in the game, in the main story. Because in my opinion, there's more to the castle that some players like myself may care to believe, because in the courtyard there, I don't know if you guys know or remember, but in the courtyard there was this big door, and I was like, well, what's behind that door? Because I mean, shouldn't it be open, that big door in the background? But who knows? Maybe behind that door there's different areas we have not seen before. So maybe while playing as the assassin, that maybe he sees that door open, and he goes through it, and we see these different areas of the castle from his point of view. Plus, if we play as the assassin, we could probably get, I don't know, something with him, some backstory from him, why he's there trying to kill Dimitrescu. Why is he there trying to kill Lady D? Who knows? I mean, there's something there they can touch upon. I would have to say it's 100% likely at this point. Why? Because a lot of people like the character of Lady D, and they really want a DLC with Lady D, myself included. So maybe if Capcom touches on this idea, we could get the assassin where we play as him, and we get his point of view as to why he's at the castle trying to kill Lady D. Like, and one of my biggest questions was, okay, he's dead. We know he's gonna die if we get a DLC where we play as him. But here's the question: why was he just buried? Why was he buried? Why doesn't just Lady D just like burn his body or just completely destroys it? Like, why bury his body? But then again, who knows? Because, well, Capcom, I mean, well, they can do whatever they want, but in my opinion, this is my idea, my DLC idea / prediction for prequel DLC for Lady D, because let's be honest, a lot of people here really want to see a DLC with her. So yeah. The next possible chance of DLC we could see in Re8 Village, a DLC with Ada. To those who don't know, Ada was supposed to be in Resident Evil 8 Village, but was unfortunately cut due to unknown reasons, and to those reasons we don't really know. But yeah, Ada was supposed to be in the game. She was supposed to save Ethan, and when I found out she was cut from the game, I was honestly disappointed. But then again, we could actually get a DLC with her, because I heard someone say that Capcom is supposedly thinking about using scrapped concepts and scrapped content for these DLC stories. And I'm like, if they go in that direction, that can be actually pretty cool, because knowing a lot of people, they want to see more from Lady D. They want to see Ada in this costume. They want to see this character in the game. In my honest opinion, I feel like they're gonna do an Ada Wong DLC, because there was also a leak saying that she's in a DLC in some way. That's one of the reasons as to why I believe it's likely, even though it's it's nobody knows if that whole leak thing is sure or not. But point being, we can actually get something with Ada. Maybe she gets some of the mold, and towards the very end she changes her mind, like, no, fuck that, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this no more. I'm not gonna be the assassin anymore, because the whole DLC is about Ada finding this one thing just to give it to the connections or some random organization, like say the BSCA. I don't think a lot of people are going to be that interested in that, and then some people could be like, well, that's a waste of a DLC story if that's the whole plot of the whole DLC. So in my opinion, I feel like they should do like a twist there, so that people are not like, this is a waste of time. But then again, knowing Capcom, they can find a way. I really hope if they do the Ada DLC for Re8 Village, I really hope the whole plot of the DLC is not about Ada just going to the village, finding this thing, and just leaving. I that's something I honestly don't want to see, because we have seen that hundreds of times before with Ada. So why are you going to do it again? So. But yeah, an Ada DLC, in my opinion, is definitely possible. I don't care what nobody fucking says. It's possible. And if they don't do it, then they don't do it. In my opinion, it's possible. All those haters, whoever's watching this video, if you're a hater, go trick an egg. I don't accept hated comments on my channel. Period. But yeah, that's definitely something Capcom could do for like a DLC for Re8 Village. It's also a really good idea I have, because who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want a DLC with Ada, But anyway, the next idea I have on this list: what if Ethan Winters accepted Heisenberg's deal? This is something a lot of people have been talking about on YouTube, and a lot of people have been wanting for some time now, and it's something I want. It's something I want. I want to see a what if. It doesn't have to be canon. Like I said before, it doesn't have to be canon. It can be its own thing just for fun. It doesn't have to be canon. It doesn't have to break any of the lore of Resident Evil. So if you really want to do a DLC with, like a what if DLC with Ethan accepting Heisenberg's deal, just don't have it. It doesn't have to be canon. Listen, guys, listen. It does not have to be canon. It's something they can put in the game They can bring back the voice actor that plays voiced Heisenberg. They can be like, listen, we have this idea for like a DLC, where Ethan Winters does accept the deal of Heisenberg. Like, what do you think? And probably the actor will be, I don't know, probably be on board. And also, we have this little photo right here. This photo was never shown in game. It's where Heisenberg is smiling. So it's possible, maybe, just maybe, they can do something with that DLC, like a what if DLC, where we get a completely different ending. We get something completely different, something we never seen before. Maybe I know this is gonna be a big maybe, but what if towards the end of the what if DLC of RE8 Village, we get this very, very dark ending where Ethan kills Chris and his squad with the help of Heisenberg, and save Rose is fine. Ethan's gonna be like, I'm just gonna take my daughter and leave, find the exit and get out of here, because in a way, Ethan will tell Heisenberg, listen, you got what you wanted, just like I got what I wanted. Like, my daughter back, revenge for my wife. Just like Heisenberg got what he wanted. He just wanted to be free from Miranda. So, in a way, you could pretty much do like a dark but bittersweet ending for that DLC. Plus, even if, that idea say they do that, that'll be great, because a lot of people would not see Ethan die again. So that'll be, really good. But this DLC, come on, guys, who doesn't want a what if non-canon DLC for RE8 Village where Ethan accepts Heisenberg's deal? Who doesn't want that? Come on. If they don't do that, I'm gonna be like, bro, what a missed opportunity, because this is something. Do you have any idea how much people want to see this? A what if non-canon DLC to Village? Like, come on, this is something that has never been done before. This is their chance to do something cool and still make some money. The next DLC idea / prediction on this list is Return of the Four Lords. I mean, who wouldn't want something like this, where we get like mini little DLC stories, but it's like prequel territory. Maybe we play as like a villager. He's trying to escape not only Donna and Moreau, but he's also trying to escape Heisenberg as well. And just imagine in this prequel mini DLC for Village, if Capcom goes in this direction. Just imagine like Heisenberg is like talking to his random villager, like maybe he says like something along the lines like, "Oh, I had a brother and a father before all this." Because for those who don't know, there was also scrapped concept art of how Heisenberg having a dad and twin brother. But yeah, I mean, maybe in a way that's some canon somewhere to the actual game. But if they actually, just imagine that Heisenberg says that, like, "Oh, when I was younger, I had a father and I had a brother." So you just imagine when Neil's voice is, imagine that. That'd be so cool. In regards to something with Moreau, I don't see how they can do any backstory for Moreau. I mean, we in canon, from the notes we have read, we know he was a scientist, but here's the thing: there's not much there with him, though. But with Donna, there is something, because there was also scrapped concept art of Donna had like this family member that committed suicide by jumping off of the waterfall. That was also on the top, the house on the bottom. Then on top, there's the waterfall. So maybe that's also somewhat canon somewhere in the story. But then again, if Capcom really wants to touch upon this idea, they can actually do it, where they can do something where they bring back Donna or Heisenberg or Moreau for like a one-off mini series, DLC for RE8 Village, where that's just one random guy. I mean, they can do it. Another DLC idea / prediction I have is Beware the Experiments, and this idea sounds more likely because this is a DLC idea they could actually touch upon. Like, for example, where did Mia go after that whole argument with Ethan? Like, what happened there? Like, how'd she get to the village? How'd she get kidnapped by Miranda? This is something they could actually touch upon in the actual DLC story for RE8 Village. Like, how did she How did Maria like we know Mia was in the village, but how did she get to the village? How did she get kidnapped by Miranda? Like stuff like that. How did which resulted in Miranda taking Mia's place in Ethan's house? How'd that happen? How did that whole thing happen? That's why this DLC, this little mini DLC, sounds likely, because we can actually play as Mia. We can get her point of view of how she got to the village and how she got kidnapped by Miranda. As much as I don't want to see Miranda again, but then again, this idea of DLC for ReSidenEvil Village sounds so likely, because at the end of the day, we have not. It was never shown on camera how Mia Winters got to the village, or how she got kidnapped by Miranda and forced into her experiments. We never seen that. We never got that in the game. So that's something we could actually get. That's a piece of DLC we can actually get in the future for ReSidenEvil, for ReSidenEvil Village. Another DLC on this list that sounds more likely is something with Elena. Something with Elena before she met up with Ethan and before she unfortunately died in that house in the main story. Maybe we can get this DLC idea, or this whole thing with DLC where Elena's one of the maids of the castle before Ethan's arrival, and then that's where we see the Lycan attack happen from her point of view. And my bad for the background noise again. I apologize about that. I apologize for the background noise. Yeah, it's so fucking annoying. I apologize about that for the stupid background noise. I really apologize about that in advance. But yeah, if we can get this whole prequel DLC with Elena, like her point of view, like how did the village fall from her point of view, that would be something pretty cool, because Elena was one of my favorite characters in ReSidenEvil Village, and I was honestly pissed off and disappointed when she died the way she did, because I'm like, bruh. And the last piece of DLC we have on this list is something I call BSAA infiltration. To those who don't remember, spoilers to those who don't know this, but like, towards the end of the game, Chris sees this like clone bioweapon of some sorts, and Chris like, oh, set a course for BSAA Europe HQ. Someone's got to pay, and then that's the last thing Chris says before the game ends. So what if we get like a DLC? I know this seems unlikely, but what if we do get a DLC where we play as Chris and we see a squad with him, and we find out as to why the BSAA is using bioweapons to fight other bioweapons, and why the BSAA is so like, rogue all of a sudden. Why is the BSAA like, doing this? So that's something they can touch upon. And yeah, anyway, that's all I have for this video. Please comment down below as to what your predictions as to what it is we could get for ReSidenEvil Village DLC in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, peace.